The automobile industry is constantly in flux, with trends always shifting in prices that can never be predicted. However, one thing is certain: used car prices are declining. In the coming years, buyers can expect to find remarkable deals on pre-owned vehicles. With the right knowledge and a little bit of patience, there's sure to be an affordable option for every driver looking for their perfect ride. But what will be the outlook for 2023? Will prices continue to drop, or will there be signs of recovery? Stay with us till the end to find out. The COVID-19 epidemic has caused more havoc in the auto industry over the last 3 years than any other event since the manufacturing shutdowns of World War II. But 2023 has a better chance of being a stable year. There would be less stress on the pricing of used cars, since the supply chain problems will be resolved somewhat and the supply will increase. After reaching their heights in the spring of this past year, both the markups on new vehicles and the wholesale prices on used vehicles have begun to decline. Used vehicle buyers, already feeling the pinch of inflation and price increases, may finally get some relief in 2023 when lower wholesale costs trickle down to the retail level. But even if prices for used cars keep going down and sales of new cars keep going up, 2023 won't be a good year for deals. There is a major shift occurring in the automotive industry, including the ordering and selling of cars. Used car prices have dropped after hitting ridiculous highs in early 2022. In 2023, they will still decrease, although not as much as buyers expect. Cars with more than 4 years on the clock will be more accommodating than those with just 1 to 3 years on the clock. According to the Consumer Price Index for December, prices for used vehicles and trucks have decreased by 8.8% over the course of the previous year and by 2.5% from November to December. In the meanwhile, the Consumer Price Index for all goods and services was up 6.5% on an annual basis and declined 0.1% from November to December, which was in accordance with the majority of people's predictions and indicates that inflation is continuing to go down. The decrease in customer demand for cars may be attributed, in large part, to the high interest rates on auto loans, which reached an average of 10% per used vehicles by the end of 2022. The costs of used cars are currently falling. According to Cox Automotive, a research and consulting company, the average list price for used automobiles was $27,077 at the end of December, which is a decrease from the average list price of $27,760 in December 2021. It is now considerably more difficult for Americans to commit to monthly payments for the purchase of new or used vehicles as a result of the Federal Reserve's efforts to fight inflation by raising interest rates. The effects on the car industry have been significant, particularly on the market for used vehicles. There are expected to be fewer buyers in the market during the first half of the year, which will lead to a decrease in the prices of used cars. However, demand may build up again during the second half of the year if auto loan interest rates normalize. According to Tom Contos, chief economist at wholesaler ADESA, in November 2022 used car prices decreased for the sixth consecutive month and for the first time year over year since the start of the epidemic. Statistics from ADESA show that by October, the average wholesale price of all automobiles sold via ADESA was $15,254, a 12.3% decrease from the high point in May. The bad news is, still, that's 37% more than in November 2019. In the last 2 years, as a result of the reported chip scarcity, consumers have flocked to second-hand vehicles in droves. The gap between the costs of new and second-hand cars is predicted to widen in 2023. According to a study published in November, the average price of a new automobile is unlikely to decrease by more than 5% in 2023, but the average price of a used car might decrease by 10% to 20%. Pat Ryan, CEO of the car shopping app Copilot, agrees with that analysis. Ryan said, "We've already seen prices start to fall on older cars, and they'll continue to ease in 2023. The main reason? Consumers just weren't willing to pay as much as dealers were asking. Part of the decline is due to economic uncertainty, but it's primarily consumer resistance to those prices. Copilot's data says that the prices of 4 to 7-year-old cars have fallen 13% since January, and 8 to 13-year-old cars have fallen by a similar percentage since April. Automobiles of recent years, however, are subjected to much more stress. Because of significant production cutbacks brought on by the pandemic and a significant drop in the leasing of new vehicles beginning in 2020, there are simply fewer of them, which will maintain pricing at a high. Nonetheless, the new car supply has been quickly increasing since September and should continue through 2023. Even though automakers have talked about cutting back on production and, as a result, incentives for new cars, experts don't think they will do so once supplies are flowing. As a result, there could be good deals on financing for new cars in 2023, while models from 2020 to 2022 will still be expensive. Another factor is that increasing interest rates have a role, but the average loan term of 5 to 7 years makes this issue less pressing than fundamental supply. As newer cars often qualify for the lowest rates, even if all rates are higher, this might make them more appealing to potential buyers. So what do the experts predict? Let's begin with the Manheim Index. If you are unfamiliar with Manheim, it is one of the biggest wholesale auto auction companies in the world. While index values are stated at wholesale rather than retail, they carry considerable weight due to the number of transactions involved. Cox Automotive, an analytics business, has crunched the figures for Manheim and made some forecasts for the year 2023. According to Jonathan Smoke, chief economist at Cox Automotive, the pre-pandemic levels will certainly never recover, but all evidence point to establishing an equilibrium in the second half of 2023. So, how would this equilibrium really appear? Well, the people behind the Manheim Index think that used car prices will drop by 4.3% from December 2022 to December 2023. This isn't as big of a drop as some of us used car hunters had hoped. So what may be the cause of this? No big surprise there, the shortage of supplies. Have in mind that Cox Automotive is only one group of specialists. Thus, let's check out what others have to say. If you want to see big drops in the prices of used cars, you might agree with JP Morgan research. The investment bank's research department projects a 10 to 20% decline in used vehicle prices through 2023. Rising vehicle supply and demand destruction are likely to contribute to bringing things closer to Earth, since this prediction is somewhat optimistic. Forbes reports that Goldman Sachs is placing bets on the depreciation train, anticipating more decreases in the value of used cars. Goldman Sachs seems to be forecasting more than just a flash in the pan, since the business believes falling used vehicle costs would help put a lid on total inflation, though no exact statistics were revealed. There seem to be greater bargains in store if you're patient enough to wait. While the outlook isn't drastically different from what it was a year ago, we're still very much encased in a bubble. Cast a broad net if you definitely need a used car in the near future, and if you need something newer, try arranging the financing via a credit union for a more favorable rate. If you don't need a car soon, it might be best not to buy one, no matter how much you want one. As Tom Petty sang, the waiting is the hardest part. Many buyers are happy to hear that prices are going down at the older end of the market. Because modern automobiles are so reliable that the average age of vehicles on the road is 12.2 years, purchasing an older car is a safer bet. More good news is that this year, Honda and Acura made their certified pre-owned programs available for cars that are up to 10 years old. That's all for today, guys. If you liked this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon for any new updates. See you in the next one.